And seeing as we are almost right at 7 o'clock, I'm going to move right into the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. I do call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. The prayer is by myself, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be with Boy Scout Troop 340. If everyone would please stand for the prayer and the pledge. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we just ask that you put your hands upon our city, that you will bless its residents and those that serve it, whether they are police, fire, military, or any other way. We ask that you would watch over us through this pandemic with COVID-19, that you will see these numbers decrease and keep people safe and healthy. We ask all of this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Boy Scouts.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good job.
Moving on to first order of business, motion to appoint a new alderman, or make a motion to appoint Graham Coates. Is there a second?
A second.
Second from Vice Mayor Brown.
Discussion.
Okay, I'll open the floor to discussion.
This has really been, for me, I don't know about you all, but for me, it's been a tough decision. I spent restless nights thinking about this, trying to narrow it down from 11 to 3. I got it down to 3, and then I went from that to 2, and I narrowed it down. And I asked myself, what are we looking for? Are we looking for experience? Are we looking for education? Are we looking for certificates, credits? I really struggled with it. Like I said, I don't know what you all looked at. That's entirely your vote. And as we heard today, we had some really good candidates. And absolutely nothing against Mr. Coates. He was in the top 2. But I just felt like with the experience and the education, everything that Kathy Tyson has done, I mean, she's a certified municipal clerk. That's about as high as you can go up. But that's just my opinion. And, like I said, I just struggled with this whole thing because we were elected. We fought for what we got. We went out and talked and did the legwork, and then, of course, this came along, and I thought, man, this is just, common sense tells me it ain't right. But it is what it is. It's the law, so we have to do it. So I'll quit rambling.
Any other discussion?
One thing that I am impressed and proud of about this group of applicants is there's not a bad applicant on this list. It is people that have been serving Laverne, serving our community, doing the right thing, developing their career, being a member of our network in our community here in Laverne and in even broader areas. Every applicant on this list has something to offer Laverne. And unfortunately, there's 11 positions. There's only one spot open, and it's for a very short time. So first, I just want to thank all of the applicants for your willingness to put your name in the hat, to put your name in the public eye, and subject yourself to what is sometimes the greatest blessing of my life, and sometimes it will not feel like so much of a blessing. And so I want to take the time to commend all of you. All of you are highly qualified, and if you're not appointed, I encourage you to go ahead and run because you could become elected and all of you would be more than qualified to fill that position. Thank you.
And I want to piggyback off that, not just run, but also get involved. Some people may not want to run for office, but we still have multiple boards that regularly have openings, and we always look for people in the community to fill those positions. And we'd love to have that involvement. Any other discussion? Alderman Jones.
This is on Mr. Coates.
Yes, sir.
The only problem I got with Mr. Coates is by saying yes, we're gonna have to shift him from that position with the planning commission. And who's gonna sign the plats now? So, yes.
Alderman No.
No.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Yes.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. We will now move to the oath of office ceremony with Judge Highland. Mr. Coates, if you'd come forward.
Please, we'll have to use something on our hands when we finish.
We do that, sorry, we do that.
Would you raise your right hand, please, sir? I, Graham Coates,
I, Graham Coates,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
to support the Constitution and the laws
to support the Constitution and the laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and the laws
and the Constitution and the laws
of the State of Tennessee,
of the State of Tennessee,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the charters and ordinances
of the City of Laverne,
of the City of Laverne,
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of my office
discharge the duties of my office
as Alderman of the City of Laverne
of Alderman of the City of Laverne
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
Thank you, Mr. Alderman.
Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Coates, you'll find a full packet on the iPad in front of you. Moving on to item number 3, approve the minutes from the July 7th, 2020 regular meeting and the July 20th, 2020 special meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to presentations. Outstanding Performance Award. Each month, we like to recognize performance by staff that goes above and beyond their normal day-to-day jobs. This person is someone who, for a long, long time, has served this city under multiple administrations, has worked tirelessly to be a wall to both make sure that what we do makes sense, as well as to make sure that we get the best value for that dollar. So with that said, can someone please grab Miss Felicia Anderson?
She missed
I
the
think they
memo.
just heard this in the conference room.
She missed
You
the
can hear in the
memo.
background some loud cheering going on.
Come on in, Felicia. If everybody could give her a round of applause. you hold our feet to the fire constantly.
I try.
And you question decisions, not to question each person, but to question, does it make sense for the city?
Yes, sir.
And so, this is the Outstanding Performance Award for your dedication and hard work to the city of Laverne. The city hereby recognizes you with this award, and we thank you for your excellent work that you do for the city.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Moving on to department reports. Fire Department. Chief Beasley.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, Mr. Richardson, and our new Alderman. Welcome. Y'all have a copy of the report. Do you have a copy, sir?
I do say yes, thank you.
Outstanding. So you'll have a copy of the report for the month of July. You'll see just a slight uptick in runs for this month, and we appear to be just ahead of schedule from where we were last year. You see our response times and our water consumption is still up from the typical month because of hydrant flushing and testing. That's all we have to cover tonight. Y'all have any questions?
If I'm looking at this correct, so far for this year, your response time is, for July is the lowest of the year.
That is correct.
Wonderful.
We're doing really well there. Guys are getting on the rig and going down the road. It's a great response.
I got one question, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Are you missing that Memphis barbecue?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm quite at home here. I've had some good barbecue since I've been here, so.
I understand.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all.
Next up, we will have the Codes Department, Mr. Randolph Salyers. I believe he'll be coming in from right outside.
David is getting really good at that cleaning.
It is the cleanest podium around.
I was waiting on Chief. He could have been standing in the door, but. Alderman, Coach, congratulations, sir. Alderman, Mayor, Vice Mayor. The report is before you. I'll not spend a whole lot of time going over something that is obviously seen by you in front of you, but I will point out that as I don't have a copy in front of me, busy with other things this afternoon, as you might as well expect, but our almost $9 million in residential commitment to the community over the last month. There's been roughly 46, 47 commercial and plumbing permits that have been applied for and utilized within the city. Our total monthly revenue was $42,874, as you well see. And our year-to-date monthly revenue with impact fees is close to $400,000. First, let me ask if there are any questions.
Randolph, if someone wants to send over a concern to your department,
Right?
what are the ways that they can do that?
Request tracker, call me. Number's on the website, 287-8605. I prefer that you use the request tracker. If you prefer, you can email me, you can call me. I'm in the office, I'm available. Best method, I would say, would be the request tracker or an email.
And when you say request tracker, that's the report of concern on the city website.
That is correct. There's a link to that on our website. It goes straight to my inbox, to that of my two codes enforcement officers. We all three get it. Once it's coded, I guess, and sent to our emails, then we act accordingly. Any other questions?
So just to reiterate, you don't put it on Facebook?
Pardon?
You don't put it on Facebook?
I don't look at Facebook.
Right.
Honestly, I do not. Not that kind of, not too much into social media of sorts.
Randolph, anything that comes straight to you, you still can capture that for tracking?
I'm sorry?
Anything, any complaint that comes straight to you or any concern that comes to, you said they could just call you. Do you still have someone to put that in so it can still be tracked?
Yes, sir, and that's
Okay.
why I say request tracker being the best method, because there is you have to include an email address in request tracker in order for us to give you a response back, or if you want a response back, or if you call and say, what's going on with the complaint that I put on request tracker? If you include or indicate on request tracker that you would like a response back, by all means, we'll see to it that you get a report back via email of the concerns that you had, the complaint that you might have.
And you can choose to remain anonymous as well through Request Tracker, is that correct?
With the addition of the email address, it makes it a little bit difficult. I mean, I don't know, who you are based on your email address, unless it's first name dot last name like mine. My personal email address is my first name dot last name. So, that email address I can't hide behind that. I chose that for that purpose. I don't aim to hide behind my email, but if you wish not to, you can always call my office, call my direct line, or Thomas Lawrence, or Clint Spears. We are the three that would handle that complaint, one of the three,
And
or
they
all
do,
three.
And they do proactively look in our community as well.
They do. Obviously, with calls that we receive, the complaints that we receive, it puts us in the field, and I've always instructed my inspectors that if you get a complaint on any given street and any given address throughout the city, canvass that entire area. If you see a violation, I don't care if it's a similar violation to what you're being called out for. If you see a violation, then I want you to act upon that as well. So, it is a never-ending process. We'll resolve one issue today, and 2 issues will pop up tomorrow. Then we resolve those 2, then next thing you know, it's 3 more. So, but we do our best to traffic throughout the city to make sure that we're proactively looking for violations, as well as the complaints we receive, and we receive a number of them quite often.
That was the reason for my question, because in a situation where someone wants to remain anonymous, I would hope that you would still log it and just put anonymous, so, because for a better argument to get another codes officer or whatever, if you got enough to show that you need another one, then, you don't want those anonymous ones to get away.
If you wish to remain anonymous, call me. I mean, I don't know who I'm talking to on the phone unless you tell me. I see a number, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna turn around and call you right back the next day or the next day or the next day. So,
The request tracker, you don't have to use an email address. It's not a required field. It's only required if you want a response.
Okay.
You can be fully anonymous with any of the request tracker options in there.
I was told or was given the impression that you had to give the email address in order to get a response back.
If you want a response, yes.
Okay.
If you don't,
All right.
if you want to write 100% anonymous, you don't have to fill that in that field.
Then you can use a request tracker and still remain anonymous. Either way, if you tell me who you are and you wish to remain anonymous, I respect that. I respect that, because, hey, listen, I know sometimes retribution is always sometimes difficult, so I don't try to throw anybody under the bus. If you got a problem with your neighbor or something in town that you don't like, well, then call me, tell me about it. We'll do our dead level best to try and make it better for you.
Any other questions?
May I address a comment? And I want this to be well understood. I, for the record, did not or have not suggested that mortgage financing is not available if you are not adopted under the 2018, with it being adopted cover to cover. That's not that is, and if I have misled anyone that stands within this room or sits within this room to think that I'm going to stand here and say that you're not going to get the loan, I'm telling you this, that the Energy Star, and no, it's not today. It is not today as much as it's going to be. And from what I'm reading and what I'm understanding, I'm not calling mortgage companies, I'm calling those who do the rating. The HERS Energy Inspectors, those are the individuals I've called. I've not called an underwriter for FHA, VA, or THD or anyone. It's not the mortgage companies that I have to deal with. It is the Energy Star that I have to deal with, or that this community will have to deal with. If we choose to adopt the 2018 Energy Conservation Code with the amendments, local amendments that the state has adopted as of July 16, 2020, a couple of weeks ago, that's the packet of information I gave each and every one of you last Thursday night. It's not going to kill us if we adopt the 2018 with those amendments. Not going to affect us one way or the other right now. I'm saying that somewhere down the line, and it could be sooner rather than later, that, and again, this doesn't come from mortgage companies. This comes from the energy HERS rating system, that they are gearing up for the very thing that I've described to you. Now, if that comes a year from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now, whenever, that's a possibility. And it's my job to inform you what all the pitfalls, what possibilities lay ahead of us. Not my job to try and hide from you anything, and I'm not gonna hide from you anything. If I hear it, read it, see it, smell it, I'm gonna let you know about it. And I'm hearing and I'm reading and I'm seeing that the Energy Star people, not the mortgage companies, not the underwriters, they're the ones where this originates from. And they're the ones that when they grade a home and it doesn't grade favorably, then I don't see the backing of federal funding being available. That's all I said, for the record.
Mr. Mayor, can we ask questions now, or we need to wait till this comes up to vote and then call him back in?
Let's wait till we get to the agenda item.
All right.
Randolph, if you're, stick around for
Thank you, Randolph.
that discussion. Thank you.
He said he ain't going nowhere.
Next up, Parks and Recreation, Mr. David McGowan.
Board, Vice Mayor Alderman, thank you. You've got the parks number for the month of July. You see our grand total visitors through the park, 24,942. Past projects, Fire One, added an additional toilet. Police Department replaced the faucet at the mop sink. Past events, July 4th was our Independence Day celebration. Upcoming events, August 14th is going to be a movie in the park. Sonic the Hedgehog will be playing on our football field. Tennessee Strikers will be selling concessions at night. Begins at sunset. Upcoming meetings, August 17th, Parks and Rec Advisory at 6 p.m. And I believe the Greenway, we may forego that one for this month. Let me jump back up to projects. It says Fire One, add an additional toilet. That sounds like a simple task. It was not. That was saw cutting concrete floor, jackhammering out concrete, cutting into the existing sewer line, tapping into that, setting a new sewer line onto that, extending the toilet, carpentry work, drywall, running new water supplies. So a little bit of flooring. So I think those guys got into a little bit of everything with that project. So we really appreciate what they did. I know the fire department appreciates it. It's something that's been needed for a while, and I can't give enough thanks to Randy and John for what they've done over there. Any questions?
No, but I would like to thank your team. You guys have done an amazing job of any maintenance or renovation even. I mean, you guys really highlight on the renovation.
We're fortunate to have the crew we do. They work good together. They don't need a whole lot of guidance. They pretty much take it upon themselves. They know what to do, and they go out and do it. So, yeah, I think we're fortunate as a department, no doubt, and probably more so as a city to have that on board.
I want to piggyback that. You guys, I've seen it here at City Hall and at other buildings. Y'all added all of the new offices that are in the back. Y'all have done some amazing work and saved us a ton of money from having to outsource that service.
I think sometimes they get to where they're doing too much good stuff, so people keep hitting them up. What's our next project? So we've got a flooring project coming up, so they're happy to do it. They're a great addition to the city, and like I said, we're lucky to have them. Any questions?
If I could, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the firefighters at Fire Station 41 and myself. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like to me that somebody made the right call in putting this gentleman in the right spot.
Well, I don't think, I'd like to take credit for it, but there's no way I can, because without those guys, they take the brunt of the work on. Like I said, without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, so, yeah, all the thanks would definitely have to go to them.
Well, you sure doing a fine job on cleaning that podium.
And the bad thing about it, I'm sure my wife's watching too.
Thank you, David. Next up, Finance Department, Ms. Phyllis Rogers.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Alderman. The report you have in front of you is for the period ending June, which is the end of our fiscal year. These are preliminary numbers because, you know, we have auditors that will be finalizing our numbers in the next few months, and probably around December or January, they will come in and give the annual report. But basically, our general fund is holding strong. We've made some, you know, large purchases this year, and it looks like we're not going to have to dip into the reserves for those purchases. That's a great accomplishment. Our sales tax, we're approximately collecting about 1.6, 1.7 more than what we budgeted. State Street aid, stormwater, water, sewer, all revenues were more than the expenses. Second page was our bank balances, and third page is the comparison to prior year, as usual. Do you have any questions?
Not so much a question, but it's a comment. It's always wonderful to see for budget collected over 100%. And that's
Yep.
multiple sections, whether it's sales tax, general fund revenues, state street aid, all of that. Especially with how 2020, the first half has been. So
Right.
good job to you guys.
Thank you.
Next up, we will have Ms. Donna Bebout with the library.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman Coates, welcome. For the month of July, you will see that we had a total of 956 items that we checked out, a total of 10 library cards issued, and a total of 2,936 OPAC searches. And this, of course, is during our curbside services. The library is still closed to the public, but we are taking reserves and trying to get those books and DVDs and items out to the community. I wanted to give you just a couple of updates on some projects that have been going on. First of all, the History Room. The piano that was donated by the Chris Clark family is now located in the History Room. Thanks to Alderman Jones, who is also the chairman of our library board. He came in and cleaned it beautifully. We're going to be using him to clean other furniture in our library. That was very much appreciated. All of Miss Margie Murphy's notebooks that are full of newspaper clippings, articles that she wrote, and wonderful tidbits of Laverne and Rutherford County and the people of Laverne are now located in our history room. We had many boxes of loose articles and memorabilia, and they have been organized and categorized. And that goes to special thanks to staff members Becky Simon and Sherry Pendergrass for taking on this enormous task. The library is looking forward to displaying Laverne's history chronologically on a timeline on the wall. So we have big plans. The second project I wanted to talk about is one that's been in the works for many, many years. It's our memorial tree in the entrance hall. This beautiful memorial tree art piece was created by Studio S Pottery, Lewis and Eric Snyder, and it was used as a fundraiser when the library opened in 2002. Citizens would purchase a leaf to place on the tree in memory or in honor of their loved ones. And due to the leaves being pulled off of the tree, maybe by children, maybe by adults, we're not real sure, many, many leaves are missing and have been for many years. So locating a trophy shop or an engraver to make new leaves has been a challenge because the original leaf maker is no longer in business. So Lorna and I created temporary leaves that we're going to be placing on the tree until permanent ones are made. And the good thing is Jeff from the Davis Group has a possible lead on an engraver who could possibly make these new leaves. And so we're really hoping that this will come through. Jeff also measured the frame to make a cover from plexiglass so that we will protect the art piece once the new leaves are in place. Any questions?
How's your piano sound?
Good. It needs tuning. It depends on who's playing and what piece they're playing. It does need some tuning.
Alderman Jones, do you do any tuning as well?
Sounds good when you clean it.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Next, we have water treatment plant, Mr. Greg Purcell.
Thank you, David. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board. In the month of July, the water plant treated 134.5 million gallons of water, delivered 107.3 million gallons to the citizens of Laverne. That's an average of 4.6 million gallons per day treated and 3.7 million gallons per day delivered. We are in the middle of our lead and copper sampling. Those residents that are on the list have been reached out to, and the alternates will be reached out to as well. We have collected 7 of the 30 samples we have till the end of September. The TOC removal for the month of July was 57%. TOC is total organic carbon removal. That's 3.8 times better than the requirement of 15%. The unidirectional flushing will be done this Friday, August 7th. In the month of July, we flushed 289 sites and used 397,000 gallons of water. The filter rehab project should be starting up in the next couple months. We're excited about that. Cross connection, we're right on track for where we need to be. I think I put in the report, we have 28 devices due within the next 90 days and 52 devices pending retest. We are mindful of COVID-19 and we're scheduling with those that we can to try to practice social distancing and get those done. Want to address on maintenance cap, we did spend less this month than we have in previous months. That's because of where we had that storm and we were over. We're trying to balance it back out. In July, we had 7 calls, water treatment or water-related calls. 5 were low to no pressure. 3 of those were due to a main break. 1 was a PRV. And 1 customer had installed a new faucet that was a low flow, and it was just in 1 location. We had 1 other call where we went out and flushed at a hydrant, and 1 customer called about chlorine, and we talked to them about how they could get the chlorine to dissipate and different techniques they could do to help get their taste. Do want to ask that, as we try to make sure we give you as much information as possible in this monthly operational report, that if you have anything you want added or anything explained in more detail, please feel free to reach out to me so we can provide you with the information that you would like to see. Any questions?
Greg, can you remind the board, I know it's been several months since we've discussed it, as well as informing our public as far as the upgrade project that's about to get started?
Yes, one of the filters has been offline for some time now due to mounding, and after further investigation, all the filters need new media, and also the under drains need to be replaced. It's something that happens with the age of the facility or when those were put in, normal wear and tear. We are going to have that replaced. Hopefully, it'll start, like I said, about 2 months or so. We'll have brand new media, new nozzles, new valves. But with that, we are not seeing any treatment issues with the current status of the media or the setup of the filters.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on to Public Works Department. Mr. Garland Russell.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. This is for the month of July. We had a total of 82 requests for brush removal with 1,244 pickups with a little over 352,000 pounds of brush, 110 work orders. For the same month, vehicle repairs, we had 32, 28 in-house, 4 outsourced, 18 equipment repairs, which would be lawnmowers, tractors. Fire department, and all, we had 6 requests on that, a total of 5 hours. Any questions?
How goes brush truck pickup?
I'm sorry?
How is it going with getting brush? I know that's the common question I'm asked. I don't know about the rest of the board.
It's
but-
there, it's there.
What I
Working
wanna
10
do,
hours a day, and I've got one working, he works 4 days a week, and he's working his day off.
just to give the people at home an idea, we talked a little bit today. After a storm like we had, in your opinion, approximately how long does it take to clean up, go to every street in Laverne before you make a round? I know what you told me today, I just,
Used to, it was, 6 weeks. But the town's getting bigger, getting more brush. As you see here, we had 120 loads,
right.
and that's an hour or more turnaround.
But I'm like the
Coming
mayor, I get a lot of that too, and just want people to know that,
A lot of them will say, a lady called me today and said, they told me it'd be 6 weeks, and today is 6 weeks, and you're still not here.
yeah, we
But-
gotta try to keep it real, but at the same time, we want them to be hopeful and
Yes.
let them know that we are making a concerted effort to get there.
We've got one that's working 12-hour days, 4 days a week, and then I've got the one, 2 of them's running all day, but on Monday, we've got one of the guys that's off coming in working 8 hours anyway. So we're doing all we can do. No questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Utility Departments, Mr. Michael Dietz.
Mayor Alderman, good afternoon. For the month of July, you have the report there in front of you. Don't really have anything special to report for the month, outside of there were 3 mainline breaks, in which 2 of those took place on the same day. Took water crews and sewer crews working together. To get on those, we roughly had the water restored to the customers within 5 hours. Pretty proud of that. Outside of that, we're just continuing day-to-day operations, maintaining the infrastructure throughout the city. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Moving on to old business, second reading ordinance 2020-808, an ordinance to amend the Laverne Municipal Code by amending Title 16 by adding a new Chapter 5 entitled Moving of Houses, Structures, or Buildings, and by amending Title 12, Chapter 1, Section 12-103 regarding miscellaneous fees. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Vice Mayor Brown. Need a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Jones. Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion passes. Second reading ordinance 2020-09, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2019-2020 general fund budget. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderman Jones. Need a second?
I'd second.
Second from Vice Mayor Brown. Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to the consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Need a second?
I second.
Second from Alderman No. All in favor? Aye. Consent agenda passes. Moving on to new business, first reading ordinance 2020-10, an ordinance to amend Title 12 of the Vergne Municipal Code and adopt the following standard 2018 International Energy Conservation Code. Need a motion to approve or deny.
I will make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Jones. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd just like to point out there are some other options that are available to us that we can approve it with the exception of the same exemptions that the state of Tennessee has. And so by approving this, it would be above and beyond what the state would call for.
Any other discussion? Okay, this is a motion to approve for the 2018 International Energy Conservation Code. Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman No.
Can I go back for discussion just a little bit and ask Randolph a question or two?
Well, you're going to need Mr. Coates to withdraw his.
I'll withdraw mine.
Okay.
I'm just curious about something I want to ask before. I got caught up in the moment there. Actually, this may be a question for Bruce, but we like to talk to Randolph anyway. We passed this tonight. Does it go into effect immediately after?
This is just first reading. It would still require a second reading.
Okay, this was my next question. I'm sorry, I asked that wrong. If this passes on the next reading, just hearsay, if it does pass, the houses that are being built when it passes, will they fall under that 2018, or will they?
No.
They'll be able to be
It depends on the
completed?
permitting. If when it was permitted under the current 2012, it will be inspected throughout the remainder of construction to issuance of CO with 2012 requirements.
Okay.
Only those permitted, whatever ordinance you choose to adopt in the 2018 Energy Conservation, after it's adopted on second reading, or after it's approved on second reading or voted on second reading, then I generally try to initiate usually within about a month or so that I can start issuance of permits on, for example, the first day of the month of that year, so that I can fall back with it takes 6 weeks or 6 months for a project to start and finish. I know exactly when that permit was issued, on what day to what. It's easier on me and the inspectors out in the field to know what day it was permitted on. If by that date given, then we know what code we're going to inspect under, whether it be 2012 or 2018.
Thank you, Randolph, for coming back in.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for our codes director? Thank you, Randolph.
Thank you, sir.
I will state, just me personally, looking at this, if the county is, as far as throughout the rest of Rutherford County, if they are already at one standard, I wouldn't want to put us at any disadvantage. I always look at a level playing field throughout the county, whether it's Smyrna, Murfreesboro, Eagleville. That's me personally. I try to look for that level playing ground.
And they've all adopted this?
They've adopted the 2009 version. They've not adopted the 2018. Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion to approve the 2018 International Energy Conservation Code. Before I call for a roll call, again, any more discussion? Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
No.
And I vote no. Motion passes. Moving on to first reading ordinance 2020-11, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2020-2021 general fund budget. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderman Jones. Need a second?
A second.
Second from Vice Mayor Brown. Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
I vote aye. First reading passes. First reading ordinance 2020-12, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2020-2021 Streets Capital Projects Fund budget. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Alderman Jones. Need a second?
I take pleasure in seconding.
And second from Vice Mayor Brown. This is the money that goes towards the new sidewalk grant that we just got, the $2.6 million. And our matching is $86,150. So that's an amazing match. Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman No.
Yeah, buddy.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Yes.
I vote aye. First reading passes. First reading ordinance 2020-13, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2020-2021 Police Impact Fee Fund budget. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Alderman Jones. Are seconded. Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. Moving on to appoint or remove board/committee members. First up, we have the beer board. We have one term vacant, which was Jimmy Favorman's, who resigned from this board, and Jennifer Maxey has applied. I'll appoint her to this board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Moving on to Historical Preservation Advisory Committee. We have one term vacant. We have two applicants, Chuck Isbell and Nicole Keem. I'll appoint Nicole Keem to the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Moving on to Laverne Housing Authority. We have Dr. McMath's, her term is vacant, and we have one applicant, Chuck Isbell. Our appoint him to that board. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. Now we have the Local Emergency Planning Committee. We have one term vacant, and then we also have the alderman position as well. Staff is recommending for the stormwater position to appoint Alexandra Stark, who is the new stormwater coordinator. And then started off by, let's go ahead and fill that. So I'll go ahead and point her to that position. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we also have the alderman position for the chairman. That one would be up for this board to decide. Is anyone interested in that?
I'll make a motion for the new alderman, Mr. Coates.
Not to throw him to the wolves, but I'll second it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful. Moving on to Planning Commission. We've got the alderman position vacant. I would motion that Alderman Coates fills that position. And we do have another position open on there as well as a result of Alderman Coates' appointment. For that, I would recommend that we put John Mack Rutledge, who applied just last month, if you remember your packets,
Yes.
to that board to fill that open vacancy.
Mayor, if we could split these two into two separate appointments, because the board needs to vote on the planning commission representative from this board, and then you make the appointment separately for the vacant seat.
Okay. Well, first off, I'll make a motion to put Alderman Coates on Planning Commission as the board representative.
I second.
Second from Alderman No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then to fill the vacancy, I will appoint John McRutledge. Moving on, last but not least, Stormwater Appeals and Advisory Board. We have the alderman position open. Again, is anybody interested in that one? If not,
How often do they meet?
I believe that one is as needed.
That one is minimum of once per year.
I'll take it.
But it is as needed other than that.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Well, I will,
Yeah, have we already met once this year?
Not yet.
That's terrible.
with that said, our motion that Alderman Jones is the board representative.
I'll second.
Second from Vice Mayor Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations. Moving on to mayor and alderman comments. Alderman No.
I just wanted to say thanks to all the citizens and the vendors that came to Farmers Market today. Apparently that was the best one we've had yet. We worked hard on publicizing and trying to get it out there, and hopefully, from what I'm hearing from Miss Kathy, it'll be even bigger next week. And the other big thing I want to say to His Highness David back there is I'm so glad the parks are open. I hope that we don't have any issues and trouble and stuff, and I hope that the kids can play and have fun, and people will be responsible. So, that's it.
Alderman Jones.
I would like to also just say thank you to David and his people for everything that they've done and the professional way that they did it. He's helped me out, or he's helped us out as a city quite a bit with the library, and everything's coming together very well over there, and I'd like to publicly thank him for that at this time. I'd also like to welcome Alderman Coates. Have at it, that's all I can say. Good luck.
Thank you. Alderman Coates.
I'd just like to say thank you for the mayor and alderman for the appointment, and we'll look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you, sir. Vice Mayor.
I would like to say congratulations to all of the applicants that applied for the position of alderman. It is a great testament to our city that we have so many highly qualified, very interested, community-involved residents. There is no loser among you. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to working with you on other boards and eventually maybe even on this board. I thank you for your involvement, for your investment in the community. I can't tell you how much that means to be willing to put your name in the hat. It's a big emotional investment. It's a big contribution that you were making. So I just want to say thank you for that. That speaks highly of you, and I can't say enough about how qualified all of you are. And also, I would like to thank and congratulate Alderman Graham Coates. Welcome to the board. I know you've served on a number of boards over the extensive history of your involvement with Laverne. I think that you're going to do a fantastic job already. I can see that you follow the order of business, and you know already the events that are happening in Laverne. You're already informed and ready to serve, and I appreciate your willingness to do so. So thank you and welcome to the board.
Thank you.
And I just want to say a special thing about our citizen or our employee of the month this month, Felicia. If you've ever talked to her about business and you ask her a question, one thing you can count on is she will give you a very direct, unbiased, yes or no, hard fact answer. If you need it sugar fluffed, don't ask her. But if you like direct answers, and I do, especially when it comes to Laverne taxpayers' dollars, Felicia is beyond expectation the best you can get. She has a very high attention to detail, very much focuses on
conserving Laverne tax dollars and making sure that all the bids are buttoned up, tightened up, the i's are dotted, the t's are crossed. And I know when she tells me something, I can take it to the bank. I know it's exactly right, exactly true, and as perfect as she can make it. So I just want to say thank you so much for her. She's one resource in the city that I know I can go to every single time and get the answer that I need. Not necessarily the answer I want, but it's always the answer I need. So thank you, Felicia. I appreciate your service so much to Laverne. Thank you.
First, I want to thank everyone who applied for this position. Please, 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 if you did not get this position, do not fade away. We need community involvement. We all, at some point, served in volunteer capacities somewhere in this community, and we absolutely need that. We need your input. So please find a way to tie in, whether it's a board, whether it's through volunteer organization. Let's all work together to make this city a better place for everybody, not just for ourselves. I will congratulate Mr. Coates on your appointment. Do want to add one other thing to where you were talking about Felicia is she holds probably the highest standard for ethics and following the actual due process of the law when it comes to finance. So absolutely amazing job she's done for years. Let's see here. I want to thank David. I know he and his team just got the fencing down around our playgrounds, both Mankin Park and Veterans Memorial Park. Playgrounds are open. The Lake Forest one is still undergoing some repairs, but as soon as we have that up and going, we'll be sure to announce that on the city website and through social media channels. I want to remind everybody about the August 14th Movies in the Park, Sonic the Hedgehog. Steve, I know that's your personal favorite.
I'm excited. I like it.
Should be. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And then want to remind everybody about the farmer's market. I was over there as well. Got a little bit of banana pudding hidden away in a refrigerator here. Had some great hot dogs. There's lots of produce, lots of fruit. So please make it a point to show up. Check that out. It's on Tuesdays every afternoon. Want to ask for prayer for both the Buck family, who just recently had a father die, and then also remember for health concerns the Davidson family. With that, call this meeting adjourned.
Breaker.